Hello everybody, we're going to give it a few minutes to let people log on. Flipping the camera, whoop. Going back. I have a special guest right here, all the way from Alberta, Mike Treherne. It's been a long time coming, but we've got together. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but like I said, I see people are coming on. I want to apologize, Vaughn. I was so exhausted this week. I've had a tremendous amount of work to do, plus working full shifts nights at Darlington Nuclear, taking a lot of millirem Canadians. The price to cross Canada is not cheap. It's hard. I had a great rest last night. I slept right in. I apologize, Vaughn. We're going to have to do this again, especially with Rena. I am sorry. But we're going to hook up. I'm going to take Mike to Toronto. He's been here for all the rallies. Came right across Canada. I'm here at the Flying J in Kitchner, Ontario. We're going to talk about major issues. Breaking news last night. Toronto rally not covered. Not covered. I spoke with Maxime Bernier, as I kind of figured. Same song and dance. Not really into addressing globalism or any change with Canada. Talk's a good talk, but when it gets down to the bread and butter of how to really move forward, how to empower the people, Max isn't there. Max wants a crown for himself. It's unfortunate. A lot of people, I went around the crowd, they recognize you, they talk to you. I'm sorry, everybody. You talk about uniting everybody. It's very hard. But this special guest I have here today, we're going to get into that. Mike's into transportation, his family, big out east here, and he's a big name in Alberta too. And we have a plan. We have a plan to get me through the rest of Canada without a vaccine passport through transportation. Even if little old me is going to have to be a part-time swamper on my days off, I will be able to enter all the Atlantic provinces, as I met all these truck drivers along here, more than willing to sign me up, give me my essential worker status, part-time, to get through the rest of Canada, including Quebec. What do you think of that, guys? Pretty cool, right? So we're going to get into it now. I see lots of people are coming on. This is a major video with a very smart guy. I'm going to be shifting the camera back and forth. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera and introduce you to Mike Treherne. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, everybody. How's everyone going? How's Facebook taking? I haven't been on here for a very long time, but it's good to be back. We've been working really hard. Dave, myself and Dave, guys like Dan Dubois, many of us working behind the scenes on many spectacular events. So it's really nice that I get to come with you, Dave, and get on live. Sir. Nice to see you in Toronto.
Yeah.
I made my way across the country, man. We're fighting no matter what, everybody. Don't give up. We see a lot of signs of people saying we're giving up. Don't give up. It's just begun. The things we've done over the last 6 or 7 years have come to fruition, and now it's time to talk about it. We're going to talk today, though, about regional divide and countries like in the Middle East and India, and democracies from one extreme to another, and rules that have to fall into confinements of democracies. And we have to be very temperamental on how we discuss anything anymore, but we still have to get to the point. So we're going to talk about Alberta politics, we're going to talk about Canadian politics, we're going to talk about people that have come into the realm, the separations of parties in Jason Kenney, and anyone in Canada would know how I feel about Jason Kenney, so I don't think I have to reiterate that. And I've never been a fan of Jason Kenney. His new base, our new base, the reset, the regional divide of what it really means, and the regional divide all the way back from our families, right involved with everybody. We're seeing it, we feel it, we know it. We're going to start off with it. Dave, you've got some questions.
I do.
I'm going to facilitate some of those questions because
sure.
we're going to have to get clear on where we are. And the silent majority is talking.
Yeah.
Businesses have gone bankrupt. The people in the streets very proud to be a Canadian right now because in this downfall, we're so together.
Yeah.
Dave and I have always been together. We've been for years going on with this thing, and he goes one way and I go the other, and then we get together and it's, oh my God, what's the next step? So the next step when we're talking about unity, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk what it means and why we can't find it.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you why we can't find it. Well, we'll do that in the show. I'm going to flip you back to Dave for a second.
Sure.
And he can say a bunch of things.
Sure.
We're sitting in Dave's pickup. So
we're in the pickup and the Flying J, and it's really awesome. Mike just did 3,600 kilometers just to meet up with me, and we're getting him signed on. He's going to be in the party too. Everybody, this is important to talk about, very important. Last night, Toronto rally, massive people. There were massive people there. I was in suit and tie, very burned out. But you know what, everybody? They didn't cover it at all. The media, even though it was a massive rally, not 1 ounce of media. They went into Palestine, Israel. And this is a huge issue that me and Mike are going to talk about because Mike is a global analyst too. He comes from a very well-to-do family. They're huge in transportation inside North America. That's why it's important. Mike does come from money, but you know, it's self-made millions, really, honestly. And they know all about getting in through transportation, supply chain, value chains, very important things, Canadians, that are often overlooked. Why we're going to get into Palestine and Israel is that was the news story out of Toronto. Very small group. And that is what was all over the news in Ontario last night. I don't know about the rest of Canada, but that's what they shot. Not to minimize the Palestinians, but it was a very tiny, small minority of all the protesters. But that was the only thing covered by the media, and they made it look like it was a lot bigger. The issue we have here, Canadians, and this is, I know there's a lot of Christians on my feed. There are some Muslims as well, too. It's important to address this. I've been called out on it anyway. Everybody, even at my work last night when I came into work, you weren't on the news. Nothing of your rally was on the news. What was on the news was Palestine, Israel. What's the score, Dave? Everyone asking. And you're all going to get it in real truth. Me and Mike are going to break that down for you. I'm going to give you my take. Then we're going to hear from Mike. And then we're going to get into a lot of other things that maybe a lot of you are not familiar with. Israel, Palestine. Here's the problem, Canadians. It goes back to 1945. Did you know the world and the world major powers have ruled that that is not a nation? Palestine doesn't get nation status. Ruled absolute. Canada has no business, I repeat, zero business breaking the law of sovereignty, even though we break it as our own country. And it's interesting that the filthy leaders, Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, and Aaron O'Toole, all three major parties, every major news media source is promoting this. It is against the law of sovereignty. My friend Kelly Craft, who was UNSC rep, as well as we have Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is the new UNSC rep. Both of them, you will find, do not advocate for any of this. Sure, they want to give Israel status with USA, but they don't advocate for the world to make a change because the world has ruled no. You need to have all five. Israel has no status with Palestine as it is. Will they work it out? That's to be determined by them. Their human rights violations back and forth are their burdens to bear, and it will be in the ICC, both Israelites and Palestinians.
Absolutely.
Canadians, you have zero, I repeat, zero business getting involved in this conflict whatsoever. Don't take a side with any binding five unless all five come together as one. This is the work I've been doing internationally. I've got great acclaim with the world's best experts entirely. We have no right whatsoever, zero, in fact, to be not only launching campaigns politically, either way, we have no business getting involved or promoting it with our media. And when you do, Canadians, when you do, you invite the evil in, the powers of the world to come in and crush you with sanctions, embargoes, and possibly military intervention. Now, we're not there, but we will get to the point where the sanctions will continue to increase. And if you don't think it isn't true, why did Michigan shut down the pipeline just the other day to an Ontario? We can get into all of that. But without further ado, we're going to switch the camera back to Mike. We're going to start going for his take. And we'll just talk back and forth, but it's important.
So as far as the Israel-Palestinian argument, as I call it, because we got to talk lightly on how we do it in Toronto, it shows the examples of what are going on around our country in a much broader discovery. And we're starting to see breakdowns of other countries that we were aware of in other continents, like the Middle East and India, and how their especially India, of how its democracy has changed from one full extreme to another. There's no rule binding anything. Justin Trudeau made a statement when it happened in Europe with a Catholic woman praying in a church, and an extremist took her head off in there. And Justin Trudeau, I can't remember, it was so unbelievable to me, but his statement was something of, well, that's democracy and freedom of choice, basically. And we have a freedom here, but there's rules around that freedom. We don't submit freedoms to others that don't comply to the system that we run here. So when we talk about commonality, and I've been talking about it a lot lately, Dave, because when we talk no commonality, when we show no common ground, when we lose the word out of the vocabulary of what we speak, and even in the court documents later, we're not seeing so much about common.
No. And we are a common law nation. Everybody, we're not. Quebec runs on the civil law. They've gone a different route. They get that from France. That's the truth. The rest of Canada in its entirely is a common law system. I know a lot of people get into this, Mike, but when we look, everybody, and what I want to ask you, Mike, and I know my take, and I know what your answer is going to be, but it's for all the viewers. When we look at these world rules, we have a charter from 1945 bound to every nation in the world, and when Canada, we talk about that commonality,
to never be changed, to never be changed, never be changed.
No country can get out of it, Canadians. You can't get out of it. You are bound to it until there's a World War III. So, Mike, we talk about this commonality. When Canada starts operating with its politicians on the world stage, promoting to all Canadians through its media, its corporate media, it controls entirely, and it promotes to Canadians, break these international rules, break the law of sovereignty. What is that going to do to Canada on the world stage?
Oh, it's finished. Looking at Canada in 10 years, we're done.
We're done.
We're a socialist government. We look like many other countries that are unrest. You're extremely poor, or some people get rich. In communism, remember, if we look at Russia, Dave, if we look at Poland, we look at all these countries, that were communists. A lot of people were rich in communism. But 75% or so of the population was as poor as could be.
Entirely poor.
So many businesses made money, like big tech, and this is why lots of people are coming up with new systems that we can run on to get away from, Apple and Google and the culprits that are, big tech of America. It's something Donald Trump spoke of. Many people in the world speaking of right now. I think the world's rebellion right now is so large that they, as we go back in time, I'm going to catch up with my deal on commonality. Look, when we started, we decided that we was divide and conquer, and we always take these threats. And I use a story that you take two fighters and you put them in a ring. One guy's really promoted and a top dog, and then you have another guy that steps in the ring and he's a really good fighter. This guy. But no promotion. He's on the fight. And through the whole promotion, and we all go through it, there's so much hype, that when the guy that was dominating over a sport, of which I said they would get in our sports first and it's working, got in there, he couldn't fight anymore. And the guy that came out of the corner takes him out in the corner. Because, you know, he fought against the mindset that they're trying to get involved in us, in fear. And trying to pull these dictatorship moves. I've tried to talk to my MPs because they tell us all to phone our MPs. So I'll mention it. I emailed Blaine Calkins, and once in a while, the other one I sent him one. I said, look, man, I don't care if you're my MP and you don't like me.
Yeah.
I expect to hear from you.
Exactly.
I will never hear from Blaine Calkins. Blaine, thanks very much for the response, at least just to talk to me. It shows me you're a red Tory all the way, and you always have been, and I've always thought you were. You never fooled me. So, and I'm not afraid of you, so you're ridiculous. I'm going to run against you and beat your ass out of the central Alberta. So that's the best I can do, is just take your job. We know mayors around the county that will stand with me on that. And let's bring the truth out, because I'm tired of holding it in, Dave, anymore.
I know.
I've talked to lots of people, and I'm not a journalist, but I'm someone who takes information, and I don't blow the whistle. So in the next several weeks, on all government I've talked to, all of you, I'm blowing the whistle. Yeah. And I'm showing people our paperwork, Dave.
That's it.
On how they spoke to me and emails they sent to me. We have to come in common, and we have to hit a common goal together as cultural, because half of it's right, half of it's left, half white people are liberal and conservative, and same with the rest of the cultures of Canada, everyone. I've talked to everyone. They agree that we're here together for the right reasons, and it's time to make that step.
That's right.
But not Justin Trudeau's step.
People. No, not Justin Trudeau.
Not to take the evil to our communities that they came from. This is a big deal in our country.
It is.
We need to talk about it. I want to erase people saying multiculturalism. Please stop it. Can we not just say we're cultured and we stand together? It would ease the pain of talking to each other. Every time you talk multi, you're segregated. Multi's part of white. We're segregated. We know that there's this war in the world that it's come down now to white people.
It's really about the divide.
Yes.
And you know what, Canadians, and this is really important too, and I want to ask you about this too, Mike. I've been working with the First Nations. This is the Inuit, Métis, all First Peoples, which many difference between treaty, non-treaty, and then those who are unceded or ceded. There's those with outstanding claims, unceded lands, meaning they were taken, promised a settlement, but it's never come. There's all kinds of stuff out there.
Water.
Canada, yeah.
What have I been fighting for 10 years, Dave? Water to the reserves. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. Canada loves to get all of you at this agenda, anti-globalism, which there is a problem with globalization. There is. But for Canada, Mike, we sit here, we're a country with only 11% of it available to the Canadian people.
Yes.
And that's because no politician wants to settle the First People's claims, all of them, which are a minority Canadians. I don't know if you are all aware of this, because they keep you in the dark. This vast country, most of you can't touch. They drive your property values through the roof because you have very limited lands available to you. The First Nations, all of them, in all the First People scenarios you bring forward, which there are not very many at all, Canadians, they have a very limited portion of Canada made available to them. Why do we continue on this narrative? We go with all these global agendas that are against the law of sovereignty, and we don't want to settle the claims. Canadians, if we settled the claims, the amount of land available to each and every one of you is massive. Your wealth increases overnight. There is no amount of borrowing currently by the government that could stop how much more wealth you would have literally overnight. Mike, what do you think about settling the claims?
We got to settle the claims. First off, you know what I've said to you, Dave, since I met, if the Cowboys and Indians get together, everybody's got a problem in this country, and I think we need to do that.
We have to.
So without a common goal, folks, among everybody, if we don't see the common goal, we can never reach unity, okay? Never. If we have no common goal There's no unity. It doesn't matter in a business. It doesn't matter how you operate it. We learn how to diversify and for people to speak on behalf of our people. I spoke to a lot of people in Alberta recently, and I speak Albertan. And I'm from the East. I mean, I was born in Montreal. I lived in Ontario and Toronto for a long time. And I settled, and Vancouver, and settled in Alberta because it's a province that I like, because, we're very proud, strong people. And are we the sharpest tools in the shed? Maybe not. But I'll tell you what, we stand together with each other. And we're starting to see it. As I say, the silent majority is starting to speak. They've lost a lot of businesses. Everybody's quieting down. And I was shocked at the face of Toronto and how empty it is. Shocked at the face of Toronto. Dundas and Yonge, empty stores. What the hell is going on? This is the most well-traveled street in Canada by far, and stores are closed. People are losing everything, and they're milking it, and it's Aaron O'Toole, and it doesn't matter. We get third-rate people that run for Parliament because big business people have no time to run for it. Kevin O'Leary example.
Yeah.
We don't have smart people running the business of Canada. We have a bunch of cut-rate, third-party people that basically follow each other and no one's leading anybody. Aaron O'Toole, snake. Singh, snake. Trudeau, same thing. Look, we got to put someone together that comes and opposes this as a government. We need a tough guy. And not a tough guy with strength. A tough guy with his mouth, a tough guy with his mind, and something that's going to cater and stand up to the world. Mm-hmm. In a cultured society that they don't want to hear that gets along, we can win this battle.
We can.
We can win this battle.
It means you, the people,
it means
everybody.
all of us, everyone, together to defend it, to take the evils away. We can stop them because they're a minority. So like I said in the fight, the guy wins the fight and he gets a trophy and the other guy gets a ribbon. Our fight, there is no trophy. And there is no ribbon for participation. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, but I'm proud of Canada because it's growing.
It's growing.
And we started with 10 people. And we're going to turn it to hundreds of thousands. I spoke about Rocco Galati years ago, introduced that to a particular situation with the Bank of Canada and Stephen Harper's government.
Well done, too, by the way.
This is no second shake at the game for this guy.
Let's go with
Rocco,
this.
Rocco, you're our hero, by the way. Keep fighting for us. We love you, man. Just so you know, it's hard to get a hold of you these days.
The problem is, so Mike, we got to get into that. Rocco is the one who allowed, I don't know if you know this, he's the one who allowed the Bank of Canada through Harper to print money for the government now.
Understood. But I think it was in lieu of a trade of not losing our currency to world banking. Because that's what Harper was after. I don't think so.
Harper wanted to do a bailout. Everybody, $300 billion. That's what he wanted to give to the private chartered banks. And I want to explain something from a real...
You can't make that shit up either.
I can't make it up. And this is the problem I have. And I'm going through Rocco Galati in great detail. I know, especially out east here, people don't want to hear this. And, this is for you too, Mike. You can look up. This is verifiable. So, Rocco Galati, I'll just turn the camera. So, Rocco Galati's from Italy originally. He's got a bar inside a colonial Crown Power too, one of the colonials. He came through. He comes to Harper. And I'm dealing with this from Alberta, the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, John Carpe. Right now, he's the only lawyer I know, constitutional lawyer, actually fighting for charter rights and freedoms, explaining to all of you, calling you Joe Janes, because that's what we are. I call it the third class as it's defined constitutionally. And I know Canadians don't know that. People say to me, Dave, why do you call yourself third class? I don't call myself third class. Canada,
we do.
The Constitution defines me. They define you all too. You're third class. This is a 900-year-old constitutional monarchy system, a crown system that's been broken the whole time. Most of the world moved on from this, not Canada. It is first, second, third class. All of you watching, most of you are third class. And I do. I have a few billionaires and like sitting with Mike, millionaires that are that second class. They gravitated to it. But make no mistake, third or second class, you're not first class. First class is the politicians, those sworn to the crown with the crown power. Rocco Galati is one with the crown power. I can prove all this. I've seen it. I've run through it. What Harper did with the Bank of Canada was give Trudeau the ability to print money at will. Harper was the first to get this through with Rocco Galati. They took the Bank of Canada, turned it into their own private institution to fund the 5 charter banks. Alberta is the prime example of greatness in the only public institution besides the Bank of Canada, Alberta Treasury Branch, a public institution owned by the people of Alberta. Did you know in 2009, the only bank in all of Canada that didn't require a bailout, that had a charter, rules of operation to you, the people, the only one of its kind created by Social Credit Party, so that the bank, no matter who ran it, could ever finance or lend out money outside a specific formula that the Bank of Canada used to have. Meaning, don't put the risk on the public, don't lend the money if there is a substantial risk. Harper's government allowed the Bank of Canada and all 5 charter banks to borrow land without a system of accountability, meaning when those big corporates, mostly multinationals, ran out of money because they threw it away in the market, gambled it away, it was on you, all of you Canadians, to pay it and to be the insurer, meaning you, your children, and your grandchildren. Now the Bank of Canada prints money ever since. Trudeau's doing it.
Never stops.
Harper did the $300 billion. Now Trudeau's going to do $330 billion each year for the next 3 years. The entire debt accumulation of Canada, which Harper had doubled it. In all of Canada's history with Rocco Galati, they doubled the debt of Canada. Most borrowing any prime minister's ever done in the Canadian history. Now Trudeau says, I'm going to double that. Canadians, do you know how close we are to going to Venezuela?
Oh,
You all don't know.
we're in it.
We're very close.
We're in
in
it.
it. But we can win it. We can win it with a minority government. I'm going to shift now. We're going to ask Mike about Alberta, Jason Kenney, and what's happening with the UCP. What's your take, Mike? People want to hear it.
Well, I'm not a fan of Jason Kenney. I never have been. I think that anybody that knows me on Facebook would say that before he won, Dave, as well as you, that don't vote this guy in, he's going to crush Alberta.
Yeah.
I think the only meme I ever made was I had a meme of Jason Kenney and Rachel Notley facing each other, and it was not a good meme because I'm not a meme maker. And I said, it's okay, Rachel, we'll wreck Alberta together.
Yeah.
They did a very good job of that. Dave, you remember I talked about this.
Worst 2
I lost
premiers
friends
in
over
history.
Jason Kenney.
Yeah, me too.
From 6 years old.
Yeah.
That said Jason Kenney's going to save the world, and that's it.
Yeah.
I beg to differ, and I always will. Jason Kenney is a liberal.
Yeah.
He's not a conservative.
He was raised with Ralph Goodale, everybody. Ralph Goodale. Look it up. Saskatchewan. Liberals.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
We've got red Tories as conservatives. They don't look at conservatives. Our argument is gone. That's the problem. It's not so much that someone's left or right or Max trying to be neutral, which is, I don't even know how that could work at this point in time because everyone's radical, it seems like, in the parties.
It's radical.
Like they got radical exchanges
Radical
going on
left, radical right.
and kicking people out of parties that public voted in. Mm-hmm. So what does that say to their public?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't matter.
Yeah.
Your voice doesn't matter because your representation just got kicked out. We look at in Alberta, Drew Barnes, getting. I was on a Zoom with Drew, and I'll bring it up because I was trying to talk, but it seems like they always talk, and they never really let you talk. And so I had a lot to say, like I've always said, Dave. I always have a lot to say. I back my facts because they're all facts because I don't do anything but a fact. And when we try to change an opinion on one, then we're trying to change the fact. Let's stay on the facts. So I'm tired of people saying they're going to call me back. Maxim Bernier, same thing. Met him in Pinoca. Mike, we'll get together. Laura Lynn Thompson, the whole mess over there. I'm not a fan of hers. It's not a secret.
Me either.
I think Laura Lynn. I'm sorry, Laura Lynn. You're a wonderful person, but you're not political, and you should just stay away from it. I think that's hurting the PPC. Now, a lot of people love her, and would say difference to me, and I might take ridicule over it, but I don't care. I'm a good person of checking out who someone is.
I think that what we need to just take a break of that, and Laura Lynn, here's my issue, Canadians, friends, followers, and what you guys all need to understand is that when you create a political platform, right, Mike, we make political platforms and we build parties. I know I built one. And when you build the policies, which should be by the people, agreed, everybody?
Always.
Build the policies for the people, by the people. I did that with the IP. We actually had a limited platform. I mean, we had independence. We had a whole number of wide-ranging issues that the mainstream media, you can look it up, said this AIP of the time had left policies, right policies. They had never in their lifetime ever seen it. They go, how could you have so many left policies and then so many hard right policies? How's that possible? It's possible because we actually took the members of the party, literally hundreds and hundreds, to come together to make those policies. It took us many, many months and so much infighting, and then the vote comes in, but it gets done. And you get a better vision, a better creation that could ever be from any mainstream party. No division left and right, because you have left, you have right. You're not up here in autocracy. You've brought it back down to the people. There's a lot of countries in this world that run that way. That is not Canada. It's not constitutionally, and it's not our party system, everybody. I'm going to bring that forward with the CCP. Leadership should never really be the issue, except to be the voice of the party. Good or bad, how people view it, you do get people who can't handle. Why I'm getting into this is Laura Lynn Thomas. I'm sorry, everybody.
Thompson,
yeah. Yeah, Thompson, sorry. She has a one-dimensional, 1-2 policy track mindset. That doesn't work in party politics. You can't run on 1 or 2 policies, put the horse blinders on, and ignore the mainstream
it's a
of the
democracy
population.
within
It's
the
a
party.
democracy. Not only that, it's also all Canadians.
Yes.
Good or bad or how you feel, it's about the education. It's about getting the truth to everybody and allowing people to make an educated choice. That's what it's about. And you can't please everybody, but you can't just run on 1 or 2 key policies and expect to win a vast majority of Canadians. They're going to go, what about the rest of it? You can't be one-dimensional. That's just my take. Go back to Mike.
You know, that's a good take. I got nothing to say on that one, Dave. We never disagree very much.
No,
that was a pretty good take. That was right out there, buddy. You know, and yes, look, the education system, let's touch on that just for a second while we're here.
Sure.
Education system, I've been fighting in central Alberta to get out of the government's hands because this indoctrination of our children, and I've talked about it for years now when I was live on Dan Dubois' show, and you know how we're changing our children through governments that dictate something that maybe teachers don't agree with, but that's what the curriculums become. It's causing so many distensions, and as we were getting about this regional divide and resets, we're starting to look like the democracies of India, and sometimes a little bit like the Middle East, because as we run around and we do this, Dave, you know, we already see that, you know, look how it would work with Alberta if they open borders and how they make that look so it's wide open. Like, I don't think people really understand what all that means, as how that sort of Republican voice starts to travel together, and it kind of wraps around the country. We talked about many times how you know, New York would be the attack of America, and we all thought it would be a bomb. Well, it's a public.
It's a public.
And it's dangerous.
And this is my take on education, everybody. As I've went literally around the world, and I've gone, and Mike knows this is all true because he does it too.
Oh, yeah, man.
He's just a little bit more silent. You know, Mike doesn't take take that big political step. Not yet, but I think we're going to get him.
Nearly there.
He likes the CCP, okay? He is a real libertarian. I would say he's a Republican too. Like we like to, I think we both like to always go back.
Common sense politics.
Common sense politics, which does push people like myself and Mike when we get on the global stage, as it really is. And that does mean standing up, voicing out, just like Israel and Palestine right now. When I know from going out on the world stage, Canada is not allowed to make an expression on this. It's forbidden internationally.
We're no voice.
We're no voice, and we're
Thanks
not
for
allowed.
coming.
We're not allowed to have a voice on that stage.
We have to
We're
change
not
that.
there.
We have to
We
change
do.
that.
But that requires everybody, Canadians, seeing the world as it really is and winning a UNSC seat. That, look, Harper got kicked out. Canada was kicked out for the first time. What does that all tell you? And the worst vote ever recorded in Canadian history of a founder of the UN, a founding sitting member of the UNSC. Did you know that, Canadians? Did you know that? And now you're kicked out of that organization on the top level that your country helped forge and create. Russian USA used to love Canada. Is a nice little middleman who always got between the two fighters like a referee.
Kept it clean.
Kept it clean.
We broke the Iron
Come
Curtain.
out boxing.
We broke
it.
Iron Curtain in a hockey
Canadians
game.
did that.
That's
yeah,
what we did.
in a hockey game.
Brezhnev and everybody.
We can use these analogies, but this was what Canada was, and we were all in a first class status. But the morality and the broken system since 52 and the corruption of your government has only escalated until one day, and it's already getting to be a couple decades old now, 2.5 decades, Russian USA took a step back and said, well, there's something wrong with Canada. Whoa, you guys aren't that referee anymore. There's something wrong here. They, until very, very recent, and I like to be happy that I've had a little contribution to that in world academia, which has hit the Russian government, which has hit the American government. I've definitely impacted the UK now, just recently with ICC. France is on board. I met them in the Ocean Conference. And now China, very limited, the one that's very limited, and I am weak on China. But you know what? It's coming. Very little. They read my paper. I even had that one expert I got from China the first time I ever got a Chinese expert from the Communist Party of China. I got one. Just one so far. He just wrote a paper taking the portion of my paper and expanding on it with all of the Chinese experts and historical records from China. Excellent, right? So it's a little bit.
That's fantastic.
At least they understand.
I don't think Canadians understand quite how tough that is.
They don't understand,
You
but
don't
that's
understand,
okay.
guys. It's a really tough thing to do.
I've done what Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, Aaron O'Toole
Can't do.
can't do with all the money in the world. All the money all of your money. I did it for free. Well, my time and energy. That's where we're at. It's not to tout horns. It's just I have a better standing right now on the world stage internationally than any government you can pick out right now.
I would have to say that's 100% correct. I think you're the only person in the country that has that, Dave. You told me years ago you're going after this.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm going after this end, Dave.
Yes.
And we always come together. And because our discussion is the same, and the end result is clear. So Canadians, listen. Be proud to be Canadian. Don't let your guard down. Don't be afraid to stand up.
Hold your politicians to account.
Listen, Jim Alderchuk would come on our show every time. For years we were live. Some may remember. And he talked about recall legislation and initiative. Not just recall legislation, but the initiative behind it. That is the big story. It's not Jason Kenney's recall recognition because he adopted it. Brian Jean, you were there too. Brian, you remember with Canada Liberty. I'm sure you remember, Brian. I remember Brian Jean, one of the weakest politicians I ever met. Now, a lot of people have respect for Brian Jean.
I do, personally.
And I know
we
you
get
do,
into
Dave,
that in a minute.
But
Go
we're
ahead.
differences with
Yeah,
Brian.
no, we all have differences.
Brian failed to the federal government with the split up with Derek Fildebrandt, and it came from Ottawa. It did not, and you know this. This did not come from
100%.
Alberta. And Brian sunk to it when Daniel Smith left Alberta cold and hungry, and the start to this myth. Daniel Smith running for politics, bad deal. No one forgets. We don't want you around, Danielle. I'm glad your show's off the radio, actually.
Yeah,
I couldn't stomach listening to it.
I watched her flip-flop, and
She's
she
a flip-flopper.
flip-flopped over Albertans, too.
Flip-flopper.
Once a traitor, always a traitor.
Always a traitor.
Sorry, Canadians, and it don't matter what province you're from. When you get an extreme flip-flopper, someone who betrays the people.
No more lesser of two evils. Enough of that talk, okay?
That's it.
Let's get people that are going to come in here and run for the people, that hold some power, and that businesses want to get behind, actually. Because as I said, Dave, we've talked to many businesses, and we can have that support. And they stay silent right this minute.
Yeah.
Because they have to, because the Canadian government will shut them down.
That's right.
And that's what's happening around
it's
us,
the civil
my friends.
rights. That's the civil rights, everybody.
I made a statement from a rodeo, and I lost an account that pays me about in a gross about $1 million a year. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, and it's not. It doesn't make me a whole bunch of money, but it's the point of the matter that the next day, because I showed a picture of an Alberta and Canadian riders on a horse at a rodeo with a Canadian and Alberta flag, they dropped me the next morning.
Yep.
The next morning, no more business with you.
That is
I'm willing
the
to
worst.
lose everything for this country. Everything. Because the country's worth it, Dave.
Yes.
And we have to come back and get it, folks. Okay? I understand people are hurting. I get that. The silent majority is speaking. When I use this, and again, there's no trophy or ribbon for the prize of participation, okay? We're all equal. And we need to get this done. We all matter. We're all really, really matter. And I love Canada. And I love everyone in it. I've always said that in my shows. I always said that I love you. And when people called in, you had to leave the phone with I love you, because I really meant that I do. Every one of you. Sometimes, we think of others that we're in. Just use this example. I was talking to someone the other day about how we care about other people. So we go by a situation, and I had been looking over the Terry Fox lookout in Ontario because I hadn't seen it for a long time. And this vision came to me, a dumb one for some reason. I said, imagine, we don't care about each other, and there's some guy standing on the cliff, and you think he's just watching and he jumps off. We're in more peril of the guy that jumped off than people we associate with every day.
Yeah.
It wrecks us.
It does.
Because we're such a passionate country.
And it destroys the people. It divides the people. And the politicians win, everybody.
Every time. And they
Yep.
euchre us every time. Dave, turn the camera.
I just want to...
They don't want to see my mug anymore.
No, it's
I'm a
okay.
radio guy.
Oh, no, he's awesome. He does have the voice. You should hear him on his podcast. It's awesome. And, Mike is a second-class citizen. I know quite a few. It's really hard to get, and I know it's not to put, I have billionaires that are following me and have followed me for a long time. The point is, everybody,
we have billionaires as friends, Dave.
Oh yeah,
I don't think people realize.
I got two. He's got way more than me, and he's right across Canada. It's just to get somebody, what I call the second class, to come forward. Are
these people going to help us save Canada?
I would think you're all going to help save Canada if we can win the businesses, which there are several business owners that met me in this parking lot with Mike. And again, I'm sorry, Vaughn, but this was a limited opportunity. I'd slept in anyway, and then I came. We're gonna do it again, but to meet a business community that's really, really important, and there's a lot of them, they can help me finish off Canada regardless. That's what we got to do. But I wanted to just take a little step back. We were saying in our last little point here, and I wanted to make something important for all of you to understand. And okay, good. The civil rights, business owners. This is for all of you.
Viewers, they remind us. I love you guys.
The second class citizens. So Mike and a lot of, it could be billionaires, it can be millionaires. Our domestic billionaires, by the way. Our domestic millionaires, by the way. people who are entrepreneurs, who've made a good name, employ Canadians, go through all of it. So the point is they're a civil right. They're absolutely bound to the province. Doug Ford dropping the hammer on business owners. You do this or else. Shutting them down, wrecking them. Meanwhile, they're bringing in all the foreign multinationals through the federal government because that's their privy. And premiers will backdoor it with the Prime Minister, which is Doug Ford, Jason Kenney, John Horgan, Francois Legault. We've already hit 4 parties in Canada tied to the Bloc. If you want to look at federal to CAC, then you look at NDP to NDP and Liberal. Then you look at UCP to Liberal or Conservative. They don't care who's Prime Minister. This is what Canadians don't understand. Business owners, this is what you have to understand. What the we the people is, and getting all the people, because business owners love Mike to death, love billionaires. Some of them are good. There are bad ones, but regardless, never mind any of that. They can't win an election, just like farmers. You can't win an election with farmers. You can't win an election with business owners. They're really subject to the abuse, and the government uses them that way. How can I affect the masses? I hit the businesses because they employ all the Canadians. And I can take their charter rights by destroying the businesses who are domestic through their civil rights, which are easily taken away to destroy all of you with your charter. You all have to help the businesses. You all have to listen to what the business owners have to say and come together, and we, the people, write a constitution that enshrines businesses, if that's what you want to do, or enshrines the farmers, if that's what you want to do, or you, the working people, if that's what you want to do. We shouldn't have any kind of divide at all. It should be for all Canadians in real rules of governance. Real rules of how to govern to the politicians. So it doesn't matter, Canadians. You should be able to elect any dumbbell off the street. And I say that meaning if someone's popular but they're completely ignorant to how the world works, or politics, or law, or all of it, or business, shouldn't you have in place through constitutionalism rules, checks, and balances so these people can't be led astray? They can be super popular with you, the people, but they can never do damage. They have to follow a system of governance, and you, the people, have written out all the protections in place to make sure these goofballs don't go off the rails, that they keep the country together. We stand on the world stage any day of the week, and whatever we do, however we proceed, it's always for the best interests of Canadians, but also in absolute respect of international law and treaties. When you do that, the world's a better place and your country becomes strong. You can lead in the limited systems we have, but it takes you, the people, to write those rules. That's why the CCP, Canadian Constitutionalist Party, it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's about all of you. That's the gift I always give. And it's why I can win the business community, why I can win farmers, all interest groups, because you should all have your rights and freedoms. They should be absolutely enshrined, and you should never again have to ever fight for them. We should be a united people, and it can be done. But it means destroying this crown power that absolutely divides you. It's built for that. Media's utilized that way to keep you ignorant, keep you down. Do you think education is any good these days? No, because nobody knows how the world works. Nobody even knows how the legal system works. The legal system no longer knows how it works because the Crown changes it at will. It is illegal in this world. A country like Canada that exists and operates the way it does is illegal in this world. How long Canadians are going to go before you find out, geez, we're raped, pillaged, plundered by the entire world? First Nations won't matter. Domestic Canadians won't matter. It's going to be multinational state. That's how scary it is. I'm going to close out here. We're going to hear from Mike. I'm going to let him talk now.
And not a cultured state. A multinational state.
Well said. Exactly.
Be clear on what that is. Understand what we're talking about.
That's here. Right, Mike.
Be very clear. It's very... Watch how they talk about things. So... I do some good business, but I'm not multimillionaire. But I do okay. I take care of myself. I try not to tell that because, you know, exes and stuff that follow you might ask me for money. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm sure Dave and Vaughn are watching. Anyways, at the end of the day, folks, listen. There is a community in Canada that is very concerned about its trade across the world. You know, I come from a family that were high-end stock market, insurance companies, all of those types of things in the family that did fairly big jobs. And I knew back in the early 70s when we started trading money and buying, you know, too many gems from Arabic states that, you know, our currency was starting to get control and have a collapse. I knew that. Yeah. I knew that then. And now, of course, almost to the day of one of my sisters telling me that our currency will be null and void by the time we get to 2020.
Yeah,
that was in 1980.
And we're pretty close to that.
We're very close.
2030, ladies and gentlemen, 2030.
End of day, folks. Listen, you know what? There's a business community that we've reached out to. Dave's done an awful lot of work. I've done a lot of work. And a few other people have done major amounts of work.
You've done a lot of work on this file, Mike.
Not enough work. You know what? Whatever happens for Canada, we got to be selfless and we got to put everything aside. Like I said, I would starve tomorrow to make sure we save the country because I only care about my flag. And just keep in mind, folks, of all the egotistical people that I've fought against for many years, there's no trophy and no ribbon for the prize of our country. We stand for our flag together. And it's the most important thing to me in my life, and I hope it is to you. We're going to go do some traveling in Ontario. We're going to come back live again later.
Let's do it.
We got
to go meet some other, there's and another business group.
As always, I have to say, I love you, Canada, so much. I mean that with the strongest passion in my life, and I'll do anything to protect this country. And I wish you would come on with us because Dave and I are going to start to come together. We've tried every other party in Alberta. They can't see it our way because they think that the governing that they're doing of the way they're going to govern is based on old-time governing. And we have to make massive, massive changes in the governing to make it go like a pandemic across the country and leaders to stand up. Go vote in your areas. Go run for your position. Probably the people that have been there for 20 years and done nothing, everyone's sick of anyway. Knock on a door, show your face and win. We can only win this from the bottom up, and then we can change it from the top down, but not until. Stand together, Canada.
It's you, the people, you at the very bottom that can take that top, flip the pyramid upside down. And guess what? That's the Superman. You know the Superman chest? It's an upside down period with the hope in the middle. That's all of you. You're the hope. You're the Superman and
You're
women.
the power.
Not me. We're going to go live here in a bit. I'm taking Mike to meet a business community here in Toronto. It's a different one that he's not familiar with. That's what we're doing today.
We're going to have a chat about money.
Yeah.
All for you. All for you. Every nickel, every dime of it for you. As a matter of fact, Dave, I will join the party and lead with you, and I will not take a single dime like Donald Trump from the Canadian government or a pension to save our country. I will do it selfless.
Me too.
100%.
Me too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, everybody, we love you.
Love you.
Have a great day.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thank you. Awesome. So we're going to go travel around here. We got to go meet people in Toronto. Said I would. And again, Vaughn, I'm so sorry. I'm only human, working a night shift. I burnt out all week. ICC, out on the world stage. China, Africa Symposium, which was impressive, massive. It's got our Canadian politicians going, who is this guy? How does he get to all these groups? I've been at it 4 years. I am the real deal.
We're not
People
new.
can say we're not new.
We're not new.
Mikey's even older than me at this by a large margin, but I've got my 20. He's got his 40.
We got it in, man.
Yeah.
We know what they're doing.
Yeah. We've been in all of these parties to look, at least me and Conservative Mike too. We know the score. We know where they all come from, what the back room is. We know what that is. So thanks, everybody. Love you all.
Love you.
We're working really hard.
Stand
Mike's
for
in.
Canada. We love you, Canada.
3:38, you guys. That's coming. And don't worry. We're going to get this registry done. I know a lot of people are worried about that. But I know about foundations. I learned a lesson in Alberta. This one, I'm going to have the foundations. I got to do Atlantic Canada, and I have to do Quebec. There's nothing if we don't have an entirety of Canada.
Atlantic Canada, we're coming.
We're coming.
We're coming.
I'm coming, absolutely.
I'm coming with them.
I'm coming on trucks, swamping. Hey, I'm going to be a swamper. This old dog can learn new tricks.
Guess we have to write you a job offer tonight.
I need a job offer too, so I just got one. Okay, guys. And there's a bunch here. A bunch of these companies are going to help. And it was funny, we were talking to Easterner, but that's good. So another company from
the east.
Yeah, from the east. I'm not going to say which province.
Yeah, we can't yet.
We're not going to put any company logos.
A lot of them want to be silent, but we're good. We're good financially. We're coming after you, you sons of bitches in Ottawa. And we're going to change the face of our nation. And what does that new face look like? It sure looks Canadian to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll be swamping my way to the Atlantic Canada and Quebec. Bye now.